Hi guys, welcome back. We are continuing on with our data representation unit. Yesterday we talked about relative frequency using a table. Today we are continuing on with relative frequency, but this time we're going to use a graph. I only have one example for you today, so let's go ahead and take a look. Sure. All right, so just a reminder of what we did yesterday, relative frequency. A percent bar graph shows the relative frequency of each category in a single bar. How do you make that percent bar graph? Using the table of data, find the relative frequency, which is your percent, of each part in the table. On a percent bar, mark each percent as part of the whole, and then make a key for the bars, okay? All right, let's look at our question for today. It says, summarize and describe the data using the relative frequency. The graph shows the number of each color of Skittles that were in a jumbo bag. Determine the relative frequency. So they want to know what percent of the Skittles were purple and what percent of the Skittles were orange and yellow. But before we can do any of that, we need to find our total. So I'm going to zoom this in a little bit. Zoom. All right. We need the total of each of these so we can get our final total. So let's see, our red Skittles seem to be at 15. Our orange looks to be at 7. Same thing with our yellow. Then we have our green, which looks 13. And then finally our purple is at 8, okay? We now need to add these up to get our final total. So I'm gonna do the double digit numbers first. 15 plus 13, we got 8, 28. 7 and 7 makes 14. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, carry your 1, 2, 3, 4, and then finally plus 8. 8, 9, 10, carry 4. All right, so our total of Skittles that we had in that bag were 50. Okay, we need that because that's going to be our denominator. Now we can look at our question. It says, what percent of the Skittles were purple? So I'm going to look, my purple says 8, and that's going to be out of 50 because that's how many were in there. Remember, the first thing you want to look for is to see if you can make that denominator equal to 100. Because if you can make it equal to 100, you save yourself a lot of work here. So 50 is equivalent to 100 if we multiply it by 2. So 50 times 2 gives us 100. So 8 times 2 gives us 16. 16 out of 100. Remember, when you're out of 100, that is your percent. So 16% were purple. Okay, let's look at the next question. It says, what percent of the Skittles were orange and yellow? Here's orange, here's yellow. 7 and 7. So we need to add that together. 14 out of 50. We already know how to make it equivalent to 100 times 2. So we need to do times 2 on the top. 14 times 2 is 28. 28 out of 100 is 27%. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is relative frequency from a graph. Okay. You're going to go ahead and look at your assignment for today. Of course, as always, if you need any help, let me know. See you tomorrow.